Unsuccessful people, they use someday. Successful people use today.
If you're consistently making decisions from a place of fear, you'll never do anything great because all great things in life come on the other side of fear.
Before I start, I'm going to take a vacation to a beautiful place called Someday Isle.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Dan Lok. Also, if you want confidence like Dan Lok and others, check out my 254 Confidence series. It's free. The link is in the description below.
After you practice martial art, you develop this natural self-confidence. Not cockiness, but you develop this natural self-confidence. The one word that holds you back from success is exactly that word, someday. You see, unsuccessful people, they say someday. Someday I will take that vacation. Someday I will pay off that debt. Someday I would quit my job. Someday I will start that business. Someday I will be able to provide for my family. It's always someday and someday. Think about in business, if you say to yourself, someday I will get that customer. Someday I will close that sale. How much money have you made? Zero. None. I want you to look at your calendar from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I want you to look at your calendar. Where is someday? It doesn't exist. It is a made-up thing that we do to procrastinate. There is no someday on your calendar. It doesn't exist. So unsuccessful people, they use someday. Successful people use today. Today is going to be the day. Today I'm going to take action. Today I'm going to make it happen. Today I'm going to close that sale. Today is the day that I'm going to make happen. I'm going to get done. Write this down. Procrastination equals poverty. Procrastination equals poverty. You see, unsuccessful people, it's always, oh yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it someday. Successful people, we say today. You see, when you use the word someday, why is it so destructive? It's simply this. When you use the word someday, you might think it makes you look noble on the outside because you are putting off your dreams, your goals, right? You're making a excuse because simply saying, well, someday because I am not ready. So someday I will do that later. And someday never comes. And you'll never be ready. You don't need to be ready to do something. You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. You do not have to get it right. You just need to get it going. It doesn't exist. It makes you look noble on the inside. When you think and you lie to yourself that it is the responsible thing to do, that I'm not ready, I don't want to take any risk, I don't want to take any chances, when it is the most selfish and irresponsible thing that you can do to yourself and to your family. It doesn't exist. Eliminate that word from your vocabulary. Either say, you know what, I'm going to do it today, or I'm not going to do it.
You're saying someday because you're scared. You're scared of failing, you're scared of losing money, and you're scared of what people will say about you if you don't win. But being scared isn't a good enough reason. If you're consistently making decisions from a place of fear, you'll never do anything great because all great things in life come on the other side of fear. So I'm here on this tour right now, filming in my last stop here in Cleveland. And starting this tour was 90 days, 23 cities. I was afraid to do it because my agent told me I needed to charge for the event. I had a hard time charging entrepreneurs because it's where I came from, because I didn't have a lot of money. I wouldn't have been able to afford the $45 ticket to come see someone like this if that person came to Toronto. And so I was afraid. Combine that with my biggest fear being letting people down. My biggest fear in the world is that I'm gonna disappoint people, that people would show up and pay to see me and I would let them down and they'd go home feeling like it was a waste of their money. And so you combine those things, now it's not just one event that I get to be afraid for, it's every 4 days for 90 days, right? 23 different stops, getting up and facing my fear every single time. And because I caught that fear, then I had to do it. Here's what happens, smart people, we come up with really smart ways as to why we shouldn't do something, right? You will come up with really smart ways why you should not do something, but deep down, you're really just afraid. Meanwhile, dummies are off winning off of your idea. People who aren't as smart, people who don't have as much intention, a positive goodwill, people who don't have as big a mission as you do, people who don't want to serve as much as you do, they're off there. They're winning off of your idea because they just started. Meanwhile, you're trying to figure out and tinker and plan, but really you're just afraid to execute. And so I'm going to give you 3 strategies that I think will really help you. If you pay attention to these 3, you execute them and apply them to your life, it will make a world of difference. Number 1, apply the 2% difference. Instead of planning your way to figuring out your goal 100%, get into immediate action mode for the first 2%. The first thing that most people do as soon as you come up with a goal and idea is you plan and you think and you strategize and you come up with more ideas and goals around it, and then you wake up tomorrow a different person. I believe that the ideas that come to you when you're feeling bold, motivated, unstoppable are the right things to do, and then your head talks you down from doing those big, crazy, scary things. And so instead of using that energy for planning, use it for immediate action. Try to find a way to get 2% of the difference done immediately to build momentum and commit to other people instead of planning to get to 100%. So on this tour, the first step was not figuring out how many cities there were or how Nina was gonna quit her job or all the things that had to get done logistically to make this thing happen. It was, we're gonna go to Boston this weekend. It ends up there's 50 cities that I need to get to with 1 million plus people. We're gonna hit 1 city this weekend. I don't know how I'm gonna hit 50, but I can hit 1 city this weekend. The 2% difference, start applying it to your life. Number 2 is the heart boom test. When your heart's beating like this, boom, 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 you're scared, you have to do it. Teach yourself, use it as a trigger. I believe that people play small by default. You're so worried about other people's opinions by default that most of the time you don't even catch it. You don't even recognize when you're playing small. But when your heart is beating like this, boom, 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 let that be a trigger for you that you have to go off and do that thing, especially when it involves fear of judgment from somebody else. Now, if you're standing on the edge of an airplane with no parachute, your heart's beating, boom, 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 don't jump, you know? Have some logic. But most of the things that you're afraid of aren't actually life or death like that. Most of the things that you're afraid of are other people's opinions. And as long as you are making choices in your life based off of other people's opinions or the fear of their opinions, then you will play small for life. And so when you're feeling your heart go like this, let that be a sign to you, you have to do that thing. And then number 3 is schedule for success. Your actions have to map to your ambitions. The things that you say you want out of life have to be in your calendar, right? The goals that you have, the life that you want, not just business-wise, but the life that you want, where you want to spend your time. Success is a series of habits. Has to be in your calendar. So you look at your calendar from Monday to Sunday. Look at what's in that calendar and step above it for a second. Step above and look down on your calendar and say, if I did these actions over the next week, would I move closer to my goals or not? The thing that you say you want to do, you say you want to write a book, great. Show me in your calendar where you're writing your book. You say you want to get in shape, great. Show me in your calendar where you're spending time working out. If it's not in your calendar, it will never happen. And so learn to schedule for success. Put those big goals that you have and map it into your calendar to make sure that you are consistently taking action. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know what is the thing that you are afraid to do that you're just going to get started on today? Let me know in the comments below.
Most people have great goals. I want to increase my income and lose weight and get out of debt and be thin and happy and healthy and have a wonderful family. But then they decide, but before I start, I'm going to take a vacation to a beautiful place called Someday Isle. And in my estimation, 80% of the population lives on Someday Isle. Someday I'll lose some weight, and someday I'll read that book and listen to that program and join the Yes Network, and someday I'll get out of debt, someday I'll increase my income, but it's always Someday Isle. If you want to be a great success, there's one simple rule, is vote yourself off the island for life. If you decide you're going to do something, do it. You know, they've done dozens and dozens of studies over the years. They find that there's one major difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. Is successful people launch. They start. They get on with it. They just do it. Unsuccessful people get the same ideas and the same information, but they've always got an excuse for not starting.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want to know what Dan Lok thinks about ideas versus execution, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
The only difference between me and everybody else, I can execute better than most people.
I'm going to teach you a strategy right now that will change your life. It's called the 2% difference.